You know, it's a good thing I know when to end a bit. Can you imagine if this video came out directly after, I don't know, the Blow Blast video, and the whole X amount of puppies on screen thing was fresh in everyone's minds? I'd have to do 64 of me on screen, and I don't have time for that. Your ears don't have the perception for that either, so trust me, this favor goes both ways.
But you've seen the title and the thumbnail for the video, or at least I assume you have. We have a roller coaster of a video today. Remember, by the way, that this is a video in a series of many where I rank every any percent Kirby speedrun.
Please check out the playlist for more videos, and remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that Deputy Pup and my arch nemesis, Captain Stitch, can't end this channel once and for all. Consider becoming a pup train on Patreon, or join as a mempup on YouTube for 2-day early access to all future Kirby speedrun ranking videos with
special thanks to my head-patting Fluffle fan, Puptrins and Mempups, Lydia Scribe, Freakish Uproar, and Vilify. I love you all! Kirby 64 any percent is quite the category of speed game. My mind's fluctuated a lot on this one. Ooh, big word. Fancy puppy. Going from not caring about it to finding it really boring, to finding it really fun, to not liking burning, to only liking double burning, to only liking solo burning, to liking both, to thinking solo bomb versus acro is like the funniest thing ever, to... Actually, I think that's where we stand right now. Well, to get the easiest explanation out of the way, look at the footage. Acro is a complete joke with Bomb. Unironically, I think this is the funniest part of the whole game, even including the cutscenes, and I really love those cutscenes. Did you know that I modeled this surprised puppy face after the shocked and stunned Kirby from this cutscene? If not, now you know. But to focus on the speedrun, what makes it such an emotional roller coaster? For starters, let's talk about the good. Burning dominates this game, no surprise given the competition, but there's still, somehow, variety.
For example, boss fights typically don't use the default burning and opt for combos with different abilities. Double anything is used for picks, as you can deal some early good damage against the cubes. Cutter plus burning is used for Magman, who is indeed a man who is mag. Burning plus bomb is used for Miracle Matter, which is mostly exciting because I love this ability combo, even though I hate fireworks. And acro, well, you already know the drill on that one already.
And that's impressive variety on bosses, but for levels, it's either solo or double burning. You'd think that would be a bad thing, but these two abilities work really well for the levels of Kirby 64. Not only that, but despite looks, these two function entirely differently. Don't judge a book by its cover, especially if it's on fire. Solo burning works more as a brief burst of speed, one that you can actually cancel into a float with if you're quick enough. Since you can also instantly cancel a float into an air poof.
I like air poof. I know it's puff, but I typed poof, and at least for now, I'm keeping it.
You can imagine how quickly these can be chained together. This is what solo burning is all about, and why it's so amazing here, compared to, I don't know, say KDL 2, where it's outclassed by Ku, or KDL 3, where you can't float cancel it, and it's outclassed by Ku. Double burning, on the other hand, just does your taxes. Look at how quickly this travels. Look at how far it travels.
Sure, you can do your own taxes in the amount of time it takes after using it before Kirby can move again. Sure, it has actual startup compared to solo burning, which just poofs its way into existence. And sure, if you're within a micrometer of any kind of wall, then you stop dead in tracks, but look at it! It moves so quickly! Like you're not playing Kirby 64 at all or something! Any issues it may have in the grand scheme of things are really pretty small.
Also, while you barely use it, and I already talked about it, I wanted to shout out those fireworks again. The enemy gauntlet is so much fun with it. It's one of the best parts of the game, and the fact that it's so close to the end gives you something huge to look forward to. Whether or not the variety and strategy of these two abilities, that are technically the same mind you, is enough variety to carry the run, I would say is up to you. I think they are, especially since their function is completely different. And not to mention, you can't harm Waddle Dee with this because the Waddle Dee is just so powerful. For me, the problem is less on Fire Kirby and more with Fire Kirby. Catch my drift? Kirby feels really sluggish to control in Kirby 64. It's something I don't even like in a casual playthrough, but at the very least, I can understand why it's not an issue for people, and it's not the end of the world for me either. But for the speedrun, the run speed, the jump physics, long startup for basically everything, moving feels like such a commitment in Kirby 64 compared to how every other game in the series, it's just a simple act of moving your limbs, and it feels like a simple act. You know, moving your limbs. The levels of Kirby 64, they're not bad either, at least in the context of an 80% speedrun, so moving through them should feel fun. But I just can't feel that way when this is less of a Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards game and more of a Kirby 0.64 miles per hour.
And okay, time traveling to the mid-2000s to use this in an angry YouTuber video. I'm gonna be famous!
That said, you get burning super early on in the game, and levels are set up to where zooming through with burning is fun. I like how meaningful the enemy placement feels compared to KDL 2. Ku can't just trivialize the entire game, and the burnings can't do that either. At their best, I'd even say that on average I like them more than KDL 3s, even though I obviously make that any percent higher.
Part of the reason why is because at their worst, let's just get it out of the way. Day-to-day in this game feels so bad to control. Everything wrong with how base Kirby works, up to 10,000. His first playable appearance and he controls like this. Sad puppy hours.
But on the bright side, you don't have to bother with the Crystal Shard hunt. I wouldn't say that 100%ing Crystal Shards is awful or anything, but that pretty old video that I'll be honest, I forget if I was publicly trans at that point or not, but my point is, in that video, I said I don't like 100%ing this game, and that still applies. The Hundo speedrun is super cool for sure, but similar to a game like KDL 2, if you don't know what you're doing, it just gets annoying really fast. Getting to appreciate the levels for what they are and what they offer outside of the annoyingness is really cool, I think. You notice things that wouldn't really matter to you in an any percent playthrough, like the bizarre vine physics in Neo Star 1. These are fun.
Speaking of things that happen like one time in the game and they're super memorable and I love them. Did you know that inhaling regular enemies and holding them above your head gives you special powers? For this speedrun, we wind up using one of the fishies underwater to kazoom through the water. Ironically, despite Kirby 64 having some of the slowest movement in the series, this is probably the fastest that Kirby has ever been in the water, at least for this specific bit. Now, I'm not going to pretend I understand why this happened, but I will say that I literally said yesterday that speedrunning is hilarious. I say it all the time, don't get me wrong, but still, this is just an example 5,874,986.
That said, none of this matters. The final nail in the coffin for this category, what truly ruins the speedrun, is the lack of checkerboard chase. How could you not include the greatest minigame in Kirby history? We need an any percent plus $50 checkerboard chase money match speedrun category. Clearly, I'm the smartest puppy for thinking of such an excellent speedrunning idea. Alright, believe it or not, I'm actually such a hopeless checkerboard chase addict that I would probably go as far as to say not having checkerboard chase in the any percent speedrun, unironically, is something that I'm not super crazy about. It's not actually something that drags the category down for me, don't worry, but like, it's checkerboard chase. And there's nothing else I have to say on this topic except that checkerboard chase
is checkerboard based.
And now it's time for Fluffle Fans. It's Klaire Fluffle's speedrunning tip of the day. Yay!
For Kirby 64, did you know that combining burning with ice gets you the best ability in the game, the Melting Ice Cube. Here's how you use it. In the Miracle Matter boss fight, you obviously enter with the fireworks, fire plus bomb. Whether or not you use RNG manip or you just get lucky, you can actually save a good chunk of time by getting either fire or bomb, preferably both, for the starting attacks. Bomb is especially helpful as that one is nearly impossible to finish in one cycle. Fire is also super tough, but not quite as hard. Obviously, you can't harm Miracle Matter during any other phase unless you get rid of it, but if it starts with, say, I don't know, the cutter phase, that's super easy to one cycle. So consider trying to maybe get lucky and hold on to it. You never know. This is like the absolute worst advice that you could give, of course, but if you're not on the PB pace and you wanted a chance getting lucky, I mean, you could.
Yeah, this game is a burning hot mess. Really fun at some points, really boring at others, frustrating at times, hilarious at others still. It's really hard to get a read on this thing. And you know what? I love that. It's not the most consistent category. I'd personally change a fair amount about it. And it doesn't rank super high in the series, don't get me wrong. But sometimes the things that are really good kind of enhance the bad just by being there. And what this any percent does good, it does really, really good, and that's why it's making it this far up. If I have my days right, we're either past the 2-week point or ending the 2-week point of August now, and the competition is starting to get crazy. I just can't wait to gush about these any percent speedruns still coming up. Until I see you for those, I have been Klaire. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you around. Bye-bye!